Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to I Am My Brother's Keeper, Black History Month celebration, highlighting Black excellence in the community. Woo, that's a mouthful. But as you have seen, or if you haven't seen the previous talks that we've had highlighting Black excellence in the community, you need to step on over and check it out. But today we're gonna do a little recap on our auction. So um, just be aware that this auction ends tomorrow. Okay. These are the items that we have for you: a little Barbie, a little Betty Boop action, and we have some electronics as well. And so tomorrow, the day is the day. Highest bid wins, and please understand that the funds that we are raising through this auction goes toward the facilities that help those who are having issues with mental illness, as well as those who are homeless, who are struggling uh, to get shelter. And so, therefore, this is what this auction is about. It's so important for us to look out for one another because we are all just either a paycheck away, or we all come across natural disasters, which uh, commonly place us in a shelter when we lose our homes. So just be mindful, this is what this auction is for. And like I said, for my Betty Book fanatics, I've got the unique items that you need in your collection. And then for our Barbie lovers, who does not have a love for Barbie, especially our Barbies of color? We've got also a famous Barbie, which is Brandy, and that Barbie sings as well. You want to get these items, people. I'm telling you, you gotta get these items in your collection. And then for our techies, we've got a home system bar for you. We've got a sound system if you want to do your parties inside, especially since we're doing this social distancing and getting together when we can. And then, if you want to send somebody a fax, because we're still faxing. uh, yes, we've updated in our technology, but faxes still go on. So if you need a fax, I got it. And if you're traveling and just want to make sure you're good, we've got a travel humidifier for you. And that just pops right in your bag when you're traveling. So be ready. Tomorrow is the day. We're going to do this auction. All right. Thank you so much. I thank my daughter. She is the one who's helping me out with this, with the auction and showing you the items. And I hope you like everything that you've seen and have an idea of what you may be ready to purchase tomorrow. Okay, so today we are highlighting Danielle Corbin, and she is co-author of the children's book Autumn's Garden. And this book is a part of the children's book series I Am a Mini Entrepreneur. And so we just want to welcome Danielle, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself. And she's also going to give us a little reading from Autumn's Garden, a little excerpt. And then we'll come in and have a couple of questions for her. And also remember, guys, if you have questions, you can go into the chat and ask the questions that you are longing to have the answers for. And we'll be ready to give you those answers. So, Danielle.
I'm here. How
All
are
right.
you?
All right. How you doing? Okay.
Um,
So glad to have you here. Thank you so much.
you're welcome. It's a pleasure to be here. Well, as you can see, my profile says Miss Belladonna, which is the main character in the book, Autumn's Love Garden. My name is actually Danielle Corbin. I am a sixth grade science teacher, middle school. I'm also a team leader there. I stumbled across creating this book because of the pandemic. My niece was disappointed because we always FaceTimed each other during my science class, and I would show her my urban tower in the lobby, or whatever science plants we were growing in my classroom. All of that ended during the pandemic, so I brought everything home. And but with the pandemic, I couldn't see my niece, so she wanted her own kit, and that's where the book Autumn's Love Garden came from. It's all about us creating a hydroponic kit so that my niece could help me and learn along with me while she was home. Uh, I think I will show you this page, and I'll start maybe from the middle because you'll see where I was in school. And it's so ironic that the character literally does look like me. And in the midst of the pandemic, I took my living room and transformed it into a urban garden. So I have two of these in my living room, minus the couch, no space for the couch anymore. But and it's funny because the neighbors think my house glow in the dark every 45 minutes for 15 minutes because the lights shut off and they come on and they go off. So it's funny because now it's a neighborhood thing. So what started as me just trying to entertain my students, make peace with my niece, and learn a little bit more about urban gardening turned into this beautiful book. And my heart warms every time I look at it, and I send another one out because we need to know about urban gardening. And teaching in the Bronx, they call it an urban jungle because what we consider our fruit stores in Brooklyn and Long Island and Queens, they don't have those there. Their fruit markets aren't on the corner, they aren't ready available, and their vegetables don't look as beautiful as ours do. So in doing that with the urban garden at school, I was giving away vegetables, different types of lettuce that the children didn't know about, teaching them about arugula and baby lettuce and biblet, things that I didn't know about, and things that we take for granted because they're readily available, like fresh thyme. It's easy. You go down to the corner, you know that the store is open, you're going to get in a little Ziploc bag with a little red tab on it, and you pay for it. It isn't like that in the Bronx. So this is helping my students learn how to grow these vegetables for themselves. I hope I didn't say too much.
You're doing just fine.
Okay, so I gave you the backstory. So I will start from here, where I am in the classroom with my students. It says, Aunt Belladonna exclaimed, Snickerdoodles. Okay, ladies, it's time I get off this phone and head home. My brain is tired. I'm getting clumsier by the minute. This is truthfully, I've almost dropped my glasses in the water and I had to jump off the phone with my niece. So it was so real. Okay. Her students always wanted to stay behind after school to help set up for the following day. Grandpa used to let us stop by to see her and the tower on our way home. As a result, we became Tower Garden friends. And at times, they joined in our FaceTime calls. Hilarious to see a third grader and sixth graders talking about me and my plants. And I'm going, do they know that my niece is only in third grade and they're in sixth grade? It didn't matter. And it was just, okay. But unfortunately, life happened and schools got shut down. COVID-19 was everywhere, and our ritual FaceTime calls and lab hangouts were canceled. We wondered what would happen to the tower? What would happen to the garden? Autumn didn't enjoy pretending in the treehouse by herself. I couldn't come over because of quarantine, so we had to come up with a plan. And this is Autumn and my co-author's fictional character, Peyton, who was on here maybe I think last month, talking about her first book. So this is a wonderful opportunity and a blessing for both of us to collaborate together to create this second book. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Oh my goodness. That was wonderful. And the backstory that goes with it. Um, so you kind of touched on one of the questions that I had asked, but that's great. We can elaborate it on a little more. Um, so I was going to ask you, was or is gardening something that you like to do? And so, as you said, you were learning along with the students. And so, so I'll still ask that question. Had you done any gardening as a child, as an adult? What is that backstory about?
It's so funny that you asked that question because growing up, I hated touching dirt. But my mom had plants all over the place, okay? My father had a garden in the backyard with tomatoes, and I was like, it's okay. I'll stay from the window. I'll water mommy's plants inside, and I'm not touching the dirt. I don't want to see the bugs, the worms, nothing. So even up until now, it's okay. But when they brought in this wonderful woman to teach the students about gardening, and she brought in the dirt and was talking about growing worms in the classrooms, this is wonderful. I'll stay back here. I'm not touching the dirt. That's
Okay.
fine. But scientists touch dirt. I was like, not me. She said, well, I have something better. And she brought in the urban garden towers. And I was like, oh, no dirt? I'm in. So prior knowledge to urban gardening, no. I just fell in love with it.
That is awesome. That's amazing. And I agree with you. That's why I raised my hand. I am so not let's get into the earth and feel and nurture. I mean, yes, I know it has to be done, but yeah, I'm just gonna stand back here and watch those who really know how to do it and nurture it. And on top of that, I've never really had a green thumb anyway. So yes, I can relate. I can relate. Um, that's amazing, though. That's amazing. And to learn more about urban gardening is so crucial right now, especially like you said, when we fell into COVID, it was like a scavenger hunt trying to find just everyday things that you were so used to getting, and it was so accessible. And then that anxiety of, oh my gosh, what I'm going to do, where am I going to get food from? But if we return back to what we actually know already, what we've been ingrained with as we've grown up, um, we can see that, you're not completely hopeless, and that embracing urban gardening is also embracing your future. So I applaud you. That's awesome. That's amazing.
Thank
Okay, and so now you touched on a little bit about how you and Tori work together to bring Autumn's Love Garden about. Um, so how was that work relationship? How was it give and take? Did you all um uh take and feed off each other's ideas, or was did she give you just the reins to go ahead and tell your story? How did that go? You tell me.
That is an awesome question. I talk to Tori and I ramble on and I was telling her all about this and I'm going through all and it it's a given. I'm animated. I'm always and she's going, Ma, you just told me a story. You realize that if you just added some pictures to this story, it would be a book. And I was like, are you serious? No, not never. She was, could you do me a favor? Could you write everything down? And I have to be honest with you, there has to be some distant ancestor that only believed in oral history. And
Okay.
I could tell Tori a story and she, could you write it down? No, not writing it down. So literally, literally, I have to be honest. We found an app where I could just sit here and talk, and I'm like, and oh my goodness, and this happened. And could you believe this? And it just, and I emailed it to Tori, and she said, I'll add the rest.
Wow.
And but now I'm falling in love with writing, and in the wee hours of the morning, I'll just write, take a picture
Mhm.
of the page, and send it to her, and I'll get a text, thanks, Mom. And it just and that's how the book came about. So I
Wow.
appreciate her for making me fall in love with writing all over again.
That's amazing. See,
Mhm.
like I said, it was already ingrained in us, and like you said, our ancestors, um they told us these stories, and some of us, and I'll just speak on myself, because I if I got one finger pointed at somebody else, I got 10 coming back at me. So it's like, you you listen, but you don't really listen, because there's lessons in everything they tell you. And so it's like, here's another story, and so when you get older and you start to see that the things that they were giving you were like the plants, were like, this herbal garden, so that you can grow and then pass it on to the next person, which is definitely what happens with growing food, with growing plants. It's something that we have to put into the earth so that it grows. We take it in, it goes back out, it takes and grows again somewhere else, and then it goes on and touching every person, touching everyone. And that's what these stories are doing for us. So that's why I wanted to have you on, to to give us our new plant, give us that new growth that we need, so that we can pass it on. And kids are so much like, these great little sponges, and they take everything in. It's like sometimes they ask a lot of questions and sometimes you don't have the answers, but when you do have the answers, and then they're so ready to just, sit there and listen and take it in, and see that they can do something with their hands, they can make something. It's like, I made this, I did this. And to see that the students were so engaged in growing, to the point that now they're on FaceTime, different ages. It's just amazing. It's astounding, and it's excellent. excellence. This is Black excellence, and this is what it's all about. That's why you're here. Thank you so much, Danielle,
Thank
for
you so much.
agreeing to come on, to say yes, and share with us. What was important to me about doing this series for Black History Month was to show that yes, we love our entertainers, our sports people, those in our government, those that we see on the front lines every day. But there's also people in the community. We're these little plants that's here too, and we're growing and we're doing, and we need to know, we need to see. And so I wanted to push you all out into the forefront so that we are aware that there's excellence all around us. We just have to look for it and see it. And so, with that, how can people get in touch with you?
They can purchase the book at iamaminientrepreneur.com. You
Okay.
could reach out to me personally if you wanted me to do a read aloud for your classroom or for a small group of students. I'll give you my cell phone number. It's 347-879-2031. Um, and I think that's about the best way.
Okay. All right. That's awesome. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Danielle. Thank you for doing this. And I am just blown away. Everybody, you've got to get this book, Autumn's Love Garden, because it teaches not only the kids, but it teaches the adults too. So if you're ready to learn more about gardening, if you're ready to uh, maybe not so much get your hands dirty, but if you're ready to just grow and give life to plants, give life to your legacy, then get Autumn's Love Garden. You've got to get this book. It's fabulous. You've got to get it. All right. Thank you so much, Danielle. All right. Now we will have uh, a look back in time with my aunt, Bishop Mattie Hampton, who is on the line with us. She is the eldest sibling on my father's side. Um, we just had a few recent losses, but um, she is the eldest girl. That's right, Aunt Maddie?
That's right.
Okay. And she's um her history that she has that she's passed on to us has been uh very very important in our family. And so I wanted to just bring her on to talk about what it was like growing up um, during open racism. And the reason why I said open is because now we're in a time where, um, not that we were unaware that it was still alive, but it's not as open as it was then. And so she's going to share with us what her experiences were like. And then I want to know from her, what was it like to actually see the first African American president in office. And then she's going to move into uh, our most recent achievement uh, in two categories where um, we have with Kamala Harris is the first female vice president, and then she is the first woman of color, first person of color as vice president. And so I will bring to you now Bishop Mattie Hampton. And I'll ask you, Maddie, just to give us a brief uh, uh, introduction of yourself and then go on from there. Okay?
Okay, I don't know if you can see me or not.
No, ma'am, we can't see
Oh,
you.
okay. I tried to get on Zoom. I don't understand enough about it.
That's
But
all
anyway,
right. That's all right.
but
We get
anyway, okay. Um, I give honor to God and to everyone present at this meeting today, and especially to my niece, Sister Monique Mormon. I don't know your title, but um, I think you're doing a great work that God has given you to do, and I wish you Godspeed in your work. And I am Bishop Mattie Hampton, and my personal experience as a Black child growing up in Georgia, uh, one of the worst states for racism in America. Briefly, it did not seem so bad for me at that time because I am the oldest of 8 siblings, and we had a loving father and mother, and my father worked very hard, working 2 and 3 jobs at a time, sometimes having to go into another state to get work because I was born during the time of the Depression. I was born in 1932. My mother did not work much away from home. She taught us right from wrong, and though I was born in 32 during the Great Depression, we never suffered for food or clothing, and my father always kept us in a house with plenty of yard space for the children to play. So we never lived in an apartment. So I think he did a great job as a Black man during the Depression. So while growing up, we always attended a Black church, an all Black church. We were not allowed to go inside of a restaurant and sit down to eat, and some of them would allow us to take food out. There was a sign over all the public bathrooms saying white only or Black. You were not allowed to go into a white public bathroom. Um, Black people knew that they had to go to the back of the bus and take a seat. And we were treated as second class citizens. In our schools, we were not taught about healthy nutrition. And in my school, there were no typing or computer classes, no training in piano or other musical instruments. But I graduated in 1949, so you see that was a long time ago. They have all those things now. I remember one incident in particular. There were a few others, but I'll talk about this one. I was 15 years old. I was hired as a dishwasher in a restaurant on St. Simon's Island, and that island is off of Brunswick, Georgia. My boss liked me, so she put me out on the floor as a waitress, and there were no other Black waitresses on that island, St. Simon's Island, a resort place near Brunswick, Georgia. So the policy was to always give the customer a second drink free. Well, a family came in one day, and the man um, ordered coffee. So his little girl, I don't know, about 3 or 4, I guess, she wanted coffee too. And he said to her, "You can't have that. It will turn you Black." So I knew he was directing that at me. So I waited until they were ready to leave, and then I asked him, "Do you want your coffee now?" And he said, "No." That wasn't very nice of me, but he wasn't very nice. Also, at the time, I was not a seasoned Christian. as today. And so the Bible tells us to do not render evil for evil and turn the other cheek. People do not know that the Bible says in Acts 17:26, God hath made of one blood all nations. God made all people of the earth with one human blood. Psalms 139:14 says, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Ephesians 2:10 says, we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus unto good works. So we are God's masterpieces, created in his image and in his likeness. God's love, God loves all of his creation, but particularly the most his most precious possession, which is mankind. We are created, we are the only creation, only part of creation created in the image and likeness of God. We are worth more. We are worth more than many sparrows, Jesus said. And God is not a respecter of persons. At this time, I'd like to read to you my poem that God gave to me for Black History Program many years ago, about 40 years ago. Um, I recited it at an Islip Town Hall meeting for
Mhm.
Black History, and and there was a write up in the newspaper about it. It's
Wow.
entitled "Colorblind." I recited it at my church about 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Today I'm going to read it because I haven't really looked at it for 2 years.
Okay.
And it says the title is Colorblind. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, you're coming through just fine.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Colorblind. Reminisces. A slave is reminiscing about his past. He is now a free man. So he says, they call me Jeru. I guess any name would do. I never knew my family name, and it makes no difference, 'cause all the same I'm here in this place with others of my race, among strange people who put upon us more work than we can do. Somebody once told me I was sold into slavery. Sold? By whom? Did they own us from our mother's womb? They treat them animals better than us, and we don't want to get punished, so we puts up no fuss. On cute little kittens, they put warm little mittens, and I carries big, heavy logs, while the family dogs lay before the fire, warming themselves to their heart's desire. Then I struggles back out through ice and snow, my bare feet torn and sore, my face stinging in the frigid night air, back to the cold shack I share. Well, one man among us could read, so they thought it fit for him to lead and teach us young'uns a half hour each night as we shuddered together by candlelight, while the rest of 'em was on their knees a praying. But one old lady kept a saying, you young'uns better learn how to pray and put that troublesome book away, 'cause Massa done said it's against the rule for nigger children to go to school. But we were listening for Massa's footstep, if around our shack he might have crept. And though I didn't rightly know what to say, I was saying my prayers 3 times a day. And things got better, at least partially, because Mr. Lincoln signed that letter and set all us black folks free. And some of us got jobs, but some of us was lazy as can be. They said, "Tain't no boss to tell us what to do, so we're going to sit around and enjoy the view." But they had to earn their living by the sweat of their brow. So they had to start pushing that plow. They couldn't get no better jobs because the other folks said we wasn't human. Then we protested in mobs. They had no right assuming that we were mentally lax because our skin is black. Now, today, my son and my daughter, we live together as a family ought to, and they don't have to walk around wearing upon their brow a frown, wondering who their parents are. And we are not inferior, but rather superior by far. We are superb dancers, excelled in sports. Singing is our forte, and these are some of our natural attributes. But to settle that human dispute, we are musicians, technicians, politicians, doctors, lawyers, teachers, artists, writers, and God sent preachers. And we are rich because we are joint heirs with Christ, who made the supreme sacrifice for our liberty. We are black and comely. And I leave the past far behind and concentrate on things above, because my heart is not black, it's colorblind, just like Jesus's love. Amen.
Oh, that was
And
beautiful.
thank
Oh
you.
my gosh, that was so beautiful. Thank you, Aunt Maddie.
Thank thank
Oh,
you.
wow.
So
Woo.
the next question was, I believe, how did I feel about President Obama? Was it?
Yes.
Could you? I loved him very much. I respected him very much. I think he was a perfect gentleman because at the time when people would say ugly things to him, he never responded in an ugly way, you know. Um, and he did his job. He did an excellent, magnificent job, even though there were many people criticizing him and crucifying him. Actually, uh, some of the some of the Christian pastors on worldwide television, I would listen to them. I won't call their names. They would crucify him every day over worldwide television. And I wrote one of them a letter that I
Mhm,
wanted to be read on CNN, but I
mhm.
said to my sister, I said, I'm going to send him this letter because, you know, as Christians, we're supposed to love one another.
Absolutely.
And the Bible says if we don't love one another, we don't have the love. We don't know God. We don't even have Him in our heart. And so I wanted to write him a letter, but I said to my sister, I'm going to send him this letter unless God tells me not to. And
Okay.
so when I went to the bathroom that day, God
Mhm.
said to me, "Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord." And
That's
so
right.
I never sent him that letter
Mhm.
because God says, "I will repay," you know. And
Yeah.
so, so President Obama had opposition every day, and I heard that he received a number of about 200 threats upon his life every day. That's really something. And he kept on going and he did a wonderful job. And I'm very, very proud of him. And I'm proud of the young lady who is vice president now.
Right.
Um, Black people have contributed much to the American culture, but they don't get credit for it. Many of them don't get credit for it. And much of it has been hidden from the Black people over many, many years.
That's right.
But we are all God's children, created in his image. Um, and we are created of one blood.
That's right.
We're created of one blood. We all have the same blood. And to me, that means that we are really all relatives. All the
Yes.
people of the world are related. We are related by blood, by our human blood. And then those of us who love God, we are related by the blood, hallelujah, of Jesus Christ.
That's right.
So we are related and we should love each other, respect each other. This is God's way for us. And I thank you so much, Monique, for having me on. God bless you very much. It's a wonderful program. Thank you
Thank
and
you.
God bless.
Thank
I love
you.
you.
Bless you too. Thank you so much for sharing your history. Thank you for letting us know um, more about love, letting us know more about our way to live and to grow. And thank you so much for that poem. I mean that, and that was a surprise, folks. She didn't even tell me, but that's what she does, and that's why I love my aunt so much, because just when you think she's finished with something, she'll bring it out. It's just like a gift every time, every time. And I thank you so much. That poem was so beautiful.
Thank you. I have a book of poetry.
Hmm.
I don't know if you have it. I'll have to get it to you.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Amazing. And uh you could promote your book if you want others to be able to purchase it. What is the name of your book?
It's called Portraits of His Love. It's all about God's love.
Okay.
Mhm.
Portrait
of his love.
of his love.
I will talk to you about it later, all right?
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. God bless you, and I love you so much.
I love you. Thank you, dear, and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
She's my brother's Benny's daughter.
That's right. That's right. I'm the
Okay.
baby.
Okay. And Chris
Okay.
and, and
Huh?
Christine's daughter.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. Okay.
All right. You take care and have a blessed day. Thank you so much for taking out the time to be with me today.
Thank you, dear. Love you.
Love you more. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Bye bye. All
Bye
right,
bye.
folks. We're gonna take a quick intermission because I'm going to show you a couple of vision boards, which we're going to show tomorrow. So if you want to try and prepare, I'm just going to show you how to set it up. And we'll be right back, okay? Hey everyone, so we're back. Hope you had a chance to just like get a quick snack or something. We're almost completed with our program for today, but I'm going to show you a little excerpt of what we're going to have tomorrow. And so, with the vision boards, okay, if you want to join with us in making a vision board, learning about vision boards, you could just take and go to your local 99-cent store or Walmart and pick up yourself a cardboard or activity board. And so, what you want to do is think about what you want out of life, right? And then you're going to take and put that together. And then you want to look at the influences that help you, the things, the people that are positive, doing positive things that interest you. And then you want to also highlight what you want. What are you working toward? What's your future goals? And then all the little extras that come out of that, all the little perks and things that will just make everything that you've done fulfilling, and so that you can live your best life. And so with that, just want you to be prepared for this magnificent uh, display we're going to do tomorrow. And like I said, if you want to join us and get your board and put your things up, and we'll work it together, because we're going to go through, I'm going to have an extra board, an extra clear board just for you to look at, and we'll set up how you can put your life expectations or your life goals together, so that you're ready for the future, because now is the time where we have to be more productive, more proactive in investing in ourselves. And so vision boards are one of the most common ways that people set themselves up for success. And that's what we want to do, is set ourselves up for success. And with that, I'm just going to say to you, don't miss it. Be here tomorrow. We'll have more exciting and uh, excellence, more exciting Black excellence for you. The features that we have will be exciting and entertaining, because I'm going to play for you. So you don't want to miss it. So I will see you tomorrow again at 1 p.m. It's going to be from 1 to 2. We're going to have wonderful activities. We're going to have that auction and so much more. So please join us tomorrow from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And if you want to watch today's uh, program back, just go back onto I Am My Brother's Keeper YouTube channel and you can review today's program. This was just so exciting, so wonderful, so awesome. Just learning about uh, herbal gardening, learning about our history, and getting us ready and setting us ourselves up for success. And so, with that, be blessed, be safe, be well. I am my brother's keeper.